What's good, y'all? It's your boy BioSpider 3.0, keeping the action going with the fourth Mystery Ranger unboxing on the channel. And who do y'all think we have today? I'll give you a hint. It is the same team that we have been looking at. We've already looked at red, yellow, and green Rangers from the team, so that only leaves 3 left. We've got 3 more, so one of them has arrived. I got this probably almost a month ago now. It's been at least a few weeks since I've had this. But yeah, we're about to see what the fourth Ranger of the team, who exactly it is today. So any guesses? Drop a comment below if you have a guess on who it might be. In case you haven't seen the first. Well, actually, yeah. You know what? If you're new, I'm not even gonna spoil the mystery unboxings. But we have done 3 already on the channel, so if you haven't seen those yet, check those out. This is going to be our 4th one, but for those who have been watching, you might have a guess as to who this might be. So without further ado, let's go ahead and crack this package open and see what team member has arrived. Alright, so nice, easy paper package. So easy to open. And I'm pulling the Ranger out right now. And it looks pretty nice. From first impressions. Alright, here we go. Alright, so any last minute guesses? Get your guesses in. Drop a comment down below who you think it might be. But she or he is going to be revealed in 5 seconds. So get your guesses in. Ready? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booyah! It is indeed Lightspeed Pink Ranger. And I was very fortunate to finally get this one. Because like I mentioned in the review of the Yellow Ranger, she and the Yellow are pretty rare, like pretty hard to find these days. They do pop up on eBay, but they're like definitely the most rare out of the team of the Lightspeed Rescue team to pop up for these older Bandai figures. So thankfully, not too long after I did the review on Yellow, I was on eBay again and I was looking around and I was able to find one Pink Ranger from the Bandai line that popped up, and the rest were just those McDonald's toys that I mentioned in the review of the Yellow Ranger. So obviously I didn't want those. I wanted to keep it consistent as far as the line goes, the same type of Rangers. And so I was able to find this one Pink Ranger that did pop up, so I decided to go for her. I did message the seller to see if I could give them a shout out in the video. They never did respond to me, so for now I'll just keep their information confidential, and then if they do happen to reply to me sometime after this review, I'll be sure to drop their name in the description. But for now, we will take a look at Lightspeed Pink. So here she is, man. I was very excited to finally get this one because like I said, she is pretty rare. I would say she's probably the most rare actually out of the whole group, even more rare than Yellow. So pretty hard to come by these days, but thankfully I did see a listing. So like I said, I went for her and she looks pretty nice, pretty consistent with all the other Rangers as far as like the paint quality, the cleanliness of everything. I do like the color of pink that they use. It's kind of like a darker, it's got like a little bit of purple in it. It's like a purplish pink. Not quite as bright, I would say, as like maybe the In Space Pink Ranger. I'm looking at her right now. I'll show her in size comparisons later, but I would say In Space definitely has a bit lighter of a pink, more of a magenta or something, whereas she is, I guess, maybe closer to like a lavender or something. There's a lot more purple in her pink, but still very, very nice color. I do see obviously like a few paint imperfections, this being an older. I don't even think this is necessarily like a paint imperfection on the company, but I just see like right here, this is probably just wear and tear from having the figure for so long. You can see like some of the The white right here is kind of either fading or getting chipped. You can kind of see a little bit of pink peeking through right there. And then what else? It's a little bit fuzzy, the line work of the white on this side. You can kind of see like the white kind of sticks up a little bit. Not, you know, the most fluid of lines or anything, but it is still pretty good. And then, yeah, I mean, pretty consistent with the rest of the other Rangers. You can see like her hands definitely have a little bit more of a kind of off-white color compared to the rest of the white in her costume. So they are like a little bit more of a faded kind of beigey type of white. Almost looks like she has like dirty gloves or something. You can kind of see that. It's definitely a little more dingy of a white, but again, not too bad. The white of her boots and her, you know, her torso is pretty good, I would say, overall. Yeah, so I think that looks pretty good. I like the bronze, you know, bronzish gold color that they use for the belt, as well as her holster, and then her cuffs for both her boots and her gloves. And then on the back, she does have the two screw holes, which I think she also came with a similar gimmick to the Yellow Ranger, like something like a backpack or something that you would plug into her back. I have to you know, look her up, do some research again, but I'm pretty sure she did come with something just like that. And I think that's what these holes are for, because, you know, she doesn't have any type of like light up gimmick or anything like that. Her visor doesn't glow. She doesn't talk or anything. She's like a more basic figure, but you know, still very nice, and she fits, you know, right in line with the other Rangers that we looked at in this line. So that's pretty good. So let's take a quick look at her play and display. We'll get right to it. Starting off with her head articulation, she can rotate at least side to side, just like I mentioned in the description of the Yellow Ranger after the review that she was in fact able to turn her head. I thought it was static in the review, but I did find out later that you can turn her head just like this Pink Ranger. So I think you can turn it, yeah, full 360. It does swivel all the way around. Obviously no head tilting or anything like that, because this is an, you know, older figure. Articulation was not what it was now, or what it is now. Her head doesn't really move up and down at all. It just really just turns side to side and rotates. And then as far as like her arms, she can raise the arms. You know, it's like a it's that type of joint where, you know, you can basically just swivel the arm. You know, the shoulder connects to the body, and you can swivel the arm like a full 360 like that. No bicep swivel or anything like that. You know, this is a pretty small arm, so for them to even have like tried to cut a bicep swivel in there probably would have been a little bit difficult, just because it's so small. She does have a single jointed elbow, so she's able to get a nice 90-degree bend out of the elbow there. The hands do swivel, so they are like, you know, kind of like on a swivel, so you can like see where the hand starts and the glove stops from the forearm. And yeah, you can rotate full 360. Her hand is stuck in that you know, kind of, you know, holding position, like with the fingers curled, because she does, you know, typically come with a blaster. Like when you get the actual figure in package, she comes with a you know, rescue blaster, just like the other Rangers. But I got this one loose, of course, so they did not have the blaster or like any of her other accessories, so, you know, it's basically just her, which is fine. Like I said, I do have that extra blaster from when I was a kid for that, you know, the Lightspeed Red Ranger, so if anything, I can probably just give her that blaster so she can use that. But yeah, so, you know, and then I'll just you know, holster it at her side if I want to do that. But yeah, so that's basically her arm and hand articulation. No torso articulation, obviously no cut for like a diaphragm joint or ab crunch, anything like that. Just, you know, but pretty good sculpting, you know. Here's the profile. Nice female sculpt, so looks really good. Very basically the exact same as the Yellow Ranger, right? Just you know, different paint and then a different helmet, of course. And then as far as kicking forward, she does have that really nice V joint that the Yellow Ranger has, so she's able to get those nice high kicks in. So boom, better than 90 degrees right there. And then kicking back is just as impressive, if not more. She can kick way, way back, like basically up to the back of her head. She can get her foot swinging like that far back in line with, the back of her helmet, which is really, really crazy. We don't see, back kicks, on figures like that these days. Even on like modern day Hasbro Marvel Legends, we rarely ever see, leg articulation kicking back that goes farther than like maybe that. Like most figures only get about like that much going back before it hits the sculpt, but this one has a really nice cut, which I like, because it's still like the sculpt is still there, like they still preserve the sculpt, but it's enough to where it can swing and not get hindered by the sculpt of like the butt, and you can actually get that leg kicking back really far. Obviously, some of the downsides to that are that you don't really get like a thigh swivel at all. You can't swivel the thighs, and you also can't really go out to the side at all. You don't get any splits. So, it's an older style of articulation. Obviously, it's not meant to do the most, but it is nice that just to see that leg going back so far, I think is really cool. In a way, it makes these older female Ranger figures very agile and kind of gymnastic looking. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot to her. No boots swivel or anything like that. No articulation in the feet. Just a standard sculpt. But she does have single jointed knees, of course, so she can get a 90-degree bend out of those, which is pretty decent, or maybe just shy of 90, but that's still pretty good. So yeah, it looks pretty good. She's got peg holes at the bottom of her feet, and it does say on the bottom, copyright 99 Bandai, made in China. And then her right foot, her right heel is labeled with a R, and her left heel is labeled with a L. So there you go. So to distinguish those. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, not a whole lot to these older Bandai figures, but they are nice to have around, especially since the Lightning collection never got around to making the Lightspeed Rescue Team, other than Blue. I think Blue was like the only Ranger they made. But yeah, very, very nice to have Dana finally join the team. She was one of my I love like Lightspeed Rescue just as a season, and like as a team. I really love all the characters in it, but I thought Dana was a really cool character as well. I thought she had a really good relationship with the rest of her team and was a good team player, and pretty decent fighter too. So definitely happy to have this Pink Ranger in the review. Taking a closer look at the head sculpt, we can see it is a little bit fuzzy. I feel like a lot of these older Bandai helmets, like the visors on them, at least for the Lightspeed Rescue Team, I've noticed so far, is that the visors are a little bit fuzzy. So like, some of the white line work going around her triangle is a little fuzzy there. You can see kind of like a lot of black, peeking through up on that white part, which isn't great. A little bit of paint missing here and there, but not too bad. From a distance, you're not going to notice it so much, but as you get closer, you definitely will notice some of the imperfections of her visor, but again, not a big deal. And then you've got the white of her collar and everything. Overall, pretty good. Looks like she's got like a dent or a scratch or something on the side of her helmet right here. See that? Kind of like an indentation right there on the white. Wonder how that happened. But yeah, I just call it battle damage, Anytime you see like the little imperfections in a figure, I just call it battle damage, you know what I'm saying? They've been through some battles, been through some things, so, of course they're going to have a few chinks in their armor here and there, but no biggie, man, no biggie. It just shows that they got some character, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, really, really nice figure. She got like a little bit of paint missing on the boots here, but again, not bad at all. So very, very nice looking Ranger. So yeah, man, this actually was pretty brief. I didn't bring the rotating display stand, so we're just gonna skip that. But if you want to see basically just a quick 360 look of her, I'll turn her myself. Here she is, front to back, how she looks. All right, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So There you go. Obviously, I like having the display stand so that you guys can see this better. So that way my hand isn't covering up, any part of her as she spins. But, I'm not gonna waste time going to grab that like in the other videos. You guys get the idea of what she looks like. So that's basically what she is. So let's go ahead and get into size comparisons. And that way, I know this one might seem, more rushed than the others, but I'm pretty sure you guys are okay with that because I do tend to have a pretty long style of video. And I actually want to get to another review that I'm really, really excited to get into. I want to show you guys, I've been, wanting to show you guys for like over a month now. Very, very excited to review this next figure. So let's hurry up and get to that review. So I'm going to move Miss Dana back here. And then we will line her up with some other team members. So first up, we have Mr. Carter, the Red Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue. All right, her fellow homie in arms. And then we've got Mr. Joel, Green Ranger, on her opposite side. And you can see how they scale. Pretty good, Dana's not too much shorter than either of them. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just this angle, but yeah, I guess Joel and Carter are basically the same height. I feel like Joel actually might be a little bit taller. Maybe, I think his helmet might be slightly bigger, but it's hard to say. But yeah, I would say she scales in pretty nice with them. Not too much shorter. Dana wasn't like super short or anything. Carter was actually pretty tall. He probably if this was like really to scale, he'd probably be actually quite a bit taller because I noticed how tall Carter was when I watched the Forever Red episode. Like you could see him like when all the Red Rangers are like first meeting each other and they're all like, kind of standing by each other. Like Carter is like almost towering, like a head over basically like all the other Red Rangers. So I was like, wow, he's actually pretty tall. At least, or maybe those other guys are just really short. I don't know. I mean, I think the other guys are like average height at least, but I think I would have to guess Carter's probably like, I don't know, 6'2", 6'3". But yeah, he's a tall dude. So there you go. Move them out the way. Next up, we will get her next to her female companion, Miss, what's her name? I forgot. I'm forgetting her name right now. Dang, what's her name? What's the Yellow Ranger's name? Dana. What's her name? I can't think of her name. I want to call her Layla, but I feel like that's not right. Dang, that's gonna bother me. I gotta look it up. What's the Yellow Ranger's name from Lightspeed? I'm blanking on her name right now. Yellow Lightspeed Rescue Ranger. Kelsey, there we go. Kelsey. I don't know why I came up with Layla, but yeah, Kelsey. Yellow Ranger. So here we go. You can see basically the exact same mold. They're the same height. Basically everything is exactly the same as far as like the body sculpt. It's just the helmets are different and what's it called? Kelsey doesn't have her holster. So yeah. She normally does come with a holster. So if you saw the review of that, I did mention that, but I did get her loose, so she did not come with her holster, but she does have like the hole for it on the side. Like on this side of her, she does have a hole for the peg to attach. And so she would look basically just like Dana here, but there you go. Basically exact same size, and they look very, very nice together. So moving Kelsey out the way, let's see. For a Lightning Collection comparison, we got Cassie, the In Space Pink Ranger. And now you can kind of see the differences in the pinks for their costume. You can see that Dana's is definitely a darker shade of pink, a lot, leaning closer to a purple, whereas Cassie's a little bit lighter, more of like a hot pink. Even though her torso is like darker than most of the rest of her body, which I did mention in her review. But yeah, you can see slight difference in pinks there. And then for another Bandai comparison, we have Zeltrax from Dino Thunder. or the Armor of Darkness if we're talking Sentai. So, okay, there we go. And I think that's a pretty good scaling. Zeltrax is slightly taller than Dana. Cassie is definitely the biggest. She's about the same height as Zeltrax. So yeah, there you go. Lightning Collection definitely a bit larger in scale. So move them out the way. We'll bring in a villain. We have Mesogog, of course, from Dino Thunder. Scary Mesogog. And then we have, for another Lightning Collection, we'll bring in Space Blue, TJ. Alright, there you go. And same thing, TJ is significantly taller than Dana, and Mesogog is about the same height as TJ, so that looks about right to me. Dana definitely is a lot smaller in frame, but you know, as she should be. This is a smaller type of figure, 5.5 inch scale, but you know, the ladies are even smaller, so that makes sense. Move them out the way. For some SH Figuarts, of course, we got the Go Riders. So we got, Kawaga Rider and Kabuto Rider right here, or Blake and Hunter, Navy and Crimson Thunder. For some SHF comparisons, we'll slide this over a bit. And yeah, you can see they're scaled pretty well. He does have his head down just a little bit because of the way I have him posed, but he's basically the same height as Dana, and same thing with, Hunter. Hunter actually might be like a little bit taller, but I think that's just because like his head is up a little bit more. But yeah, you get a good sense of the scaling between those three. All right, so there she is with some of those Rangers. We'll move them out the way. Ooh, sorry, Dana. Hunter knocked you over. My bad. My fault. Let's bring her actually in a little bit closer. All right. Let's see. We'll bring in for an old Spider-Man Classics. We've got the Toy Biz Spider-Sense Spider-Man. This is the red and blue version with the white eyes. And then we have the McFarlane Toys DC Rebirth Deathstroke right here. Move that over a bit. There we go. Of course, Deathstroke towering over her, and Spider-Man probably like a good solid 1/2 inch bigger than she is. So there you go. There is some comparisons for you. Finishing it up, let's see, we'll bring in a Marvel Legends Black Cat from the Retro card, Spider-Man Retro card wave. Marvel Legends Black Cat right here. Felicia Hardy, and then for a Legacy Power Ranger collection, we have the Dino Thunder White Ranger. Legacy line, also by Bandai, but of course a bigger scale. So yeah, you can see he's quite a bit bigger than her, probably like a full inch bigger. And then Black Cat, she scales pretty well. She's definitely a little bit bigger than Dana, but not by too much. You could definitely make that work. So we'll move them out the way. And who else? We'll bring in for NECA, we have the Assassin's Creed Ezio figure from Brotherhood. And then from Mafex, we'll bring in the Episode 3 Darth Vader figure. I believe this is Mafex 37, number 37 in the line. So there is Episode 3 Vader next to her. And yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Definitely much taller. This is 7-inch scale. And then Mafex, that Darth Vader is actually a pretty tall figure. As he should be, because Darth Vader is a tall guy, about 6'9" or so in canon. So yeah, that looks to be pretty good to me as far as scaling goes. So move them. And the last one we got here, might as well include him, is the Retro card Peter Parker figure from Hasbro Marvel Legends. Alright, one of the only decent full body, Peter Parker figures that we have at this time in 1/12 scale. But yeah, nice classic Peter Parker here with the camera. I got the half Spidey head on. Yeah, move that over just a little bit. Size that, there you go. And you can see, yeah, he's definitely taller. Probably like by a good half inch or, you know, three quarters of an inch taller. But there you go. So that's gonna do it for the In-Space Lightspeed Rescue Pink Ranger review from Bandai. This is the old Bandai line. This is obviously like the more slim version of the Pink Ranger. They made, I think, at least 2 other versions where she's, I think, buffer, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, I'll correct myself in the description of the video, but I believe there are like buffer versions of her out there. Obviously, I wanted the most, you know, feminine looking one so that she actually looks like a female ranger. You know, not super masculine or buff or anything like that. This is definitely like the most accurate representation of how, you know, her physique was compared to, you know, the show. But yeah, I really am happy to finally get this one in the collection because, like I said, she is a rare find. So if you are able to find one, you know, for a decent price, I would definitely say go for it. You know, she tends to pop up on eBay every now and again. I wasn't able to find her like at all on Mercari, so maybe not Mercari, but if you know about any other, you know, secret good websites that, you know, have older figures and you're able to find her on there, I would say definitely go for her if it's a site that you can trust. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for my review. So really awesome Ranger. I'm glad I'm completing the team more and more. We've only got 3 Rangers left. Like I said, we've got Lightspeed Blue, Titanium, and who else? Actually, no, only 2 more. I think I'm tripping, right? Yeah, because we only have yeah, now that she's been reviewed, all we have is Blue and Titanium left. So we'll see who I get next for review. But that's gonna do it for Dana's review. So thank you guys for watching. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you have any of these older Lightspeed Rescue figures from Bandai? Or, you know, just any Power Ranger toys from the old Bandai line, you know, before Hasbro, you know, started the Lightning collection. You know, it's nice to have the nostalgia of these older, you know, style figures from when we were kids. You know, I'm a 90s kid, so this was like the type of toys that were out when I was growing up. But if you got any figures, you know, similar to this from back in the day, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about all of that, all your experiences. But yeah, thanks guys. This has been your boy BioSpider 3.0, and I will see you in the next review. It's gonna be a good one, so stay tuned. Peace. Lightspeed Rescue.